how to sell essentially Data Vault. I received a couple of questions from this person here. So most of these questions are about selling Data Vault as a viable solution on a data project, or being able to have meaningful discussions about all the implications of a Data Vault implementation with stakeholders, etc. Especially as, based on my experience, many companies do not want to invest into the fundamentals, including data architectures or data modeling concepts, etc. anymore, unfortunately. Well, first of all, I wouldn't, the whole discussion point to discuss with some stakeholders about Data Vault is not a good starting point, right? They are not nerds as us, right? So I can talk with you about Data Vault, it's great, and you like the topic, it's why you show up here, even in the summer, which is perfect. But with management, you don't want to talk about Data Vault. Think about this: if you're building a house, and you guys are more in the IT industry, so I'm not sure if you ever built a house. I mean, not by planning it or with some architect, or I mean, really building it, right? So like stone on stone and that kind of stuff. So the thing is this: if you build a house, you talk to the architect, but you're not talking about how they built the house. Maybe some out of curiosity, you ask some question. Okay, fine, but you don't care if they use a nail or a screw or something else, right? How they actually built a house. What you care more about is how many windows do you have, how many doors. This is an entry door, is a garden door, and so on, right? How many garage places you have, and so on. So how many bathrooms you have, and so on. That's the more important questions, right? The features of your house. That's what you care about. And the same is true for your managers when they want to have a data warehouse or a data platform, right? So they don't care really how you build this. What they need is reports and dashboards. And I can promise you, on a report or a dashboard, there's no use of Data Vault in that sense, right? Not directly on the report. There's no hubs link satellites on the report, so they don't see even that how you're building the house, right? If you're using Data Vault or some other approach. So don't discuss with management or with your client. Don't discuss Data Vault when you try to sell them a Data Vault. That's not a good choice. So what you discuss is essentially are the features of what they get out of it. And there's a lot of features, like and we have an article on the Microsoft Tech Community for that. We published an article series actually of 13, 14 articles. And the very first article is all about the features of Data Vault. What do you get from a data warehouse built with Data Vault? Yes, we use the term Data Vault in this, but only because we start off a Data Vault series. That's why we talked about what are the features of Data Vault, what's the interesting stuff here, and why you want to keep reading, how to implement that, and so on, right? That's a article series where we addressed I mean, the first article was really good for addressing also business users, but they wouldn't end up on this page and read the article, right? So we added the term Data Vault there. If you discuss Data Vault with a manager to sell them a Data Vault, don't use the term Data Vault. I don't want to hear that essentially from your mouth. But you can use the same arguments that we use. So when you just search for Chimke scale free tech community, Microsoft something Data Vault, you'll find it quickly. Go for the first article essentially. The thing is, I mean, what are the features? What are the windows, or how many windows does a Data Vault has, essentially, or data platform has? We talk about being able to integrate multiple source systems, right? Even if there's contradicting raw data in there. We talk about integrating real-time feeds, unstructured data sets, unstructured real-time feeds. We talk about auditability, security, privacy. We talk about features like automation, right? So we can generate a good amount of this data platform using automation tools, and they're available off the shelf. We talk about AI that can generate the raw data, for example, Flow BI. We can talk about that we can produce multiple business perspectives, different views on your data at the same time in parallel, right? There's no single point or a single version of the truth. We can have multiple versions of the truth. Yes, we don't like that, but that's what it is, right? Because that's the reality in their business. We talk about consistent reporting because of reuse of business rules. We talk about scalability, so we can process any volume of data essentially, right? So we can spread that across multiple nodes in a cloud environment and so on. So all these features, we don't need to talk about Data Vault. We talk about the data platform, what it can. They don't care how you build this. They should not care, because that's why they hire you, because you know how to build these platforms, and that's why you're in the room, right? They don't care that you're using Data Vault for that or some other means, Kimball Design or Inman, who cares, right? Not them. So talk about the features, what they get out of it. And yes, if they ask some questions, there might be some CIO or CTO in the room who might ask questions about this. Yes, we answer questions on Data Vault as well, but that's about it. So we don't pitch the Data Vault idea by ourselves. And it's true, all the statements I made are true the higher up you get. So the tech guys, they love to talk about Data Vault, right? But the higher you get, the less you talk about data vault. And when you talk to C-level management, you don't talk about data vault. That's for sure. So that's a basic idea. That's the first part of the question here. So sell a data vault without mentioning its name. That's what it is, as clear as it is. Talk about features. Talk about the outcome of a data platform, the features essentially. So that's the first part. So don't start selling a data vault. No, we're selling a data platform actually, or data warehouse, enterprise data warehouse, integrated models. That's what we sell, but not a data vault. Too complicated. Think about this. If I'm the manager here and you come to me and say, well, we want to sell you a data vault, I need to figure out what's a data vault. But they know what a data platform is, right? To figure out what a data vault is, you have to explain a lot more stuff, technical stuff, and these are not technical guys, right? So not a good start. All right, that's the first part of the question here. Yeah, you don't have to have meaningful discussions with the implication of a data vault, implementation with stakeholders. They don't care. And they should not care, in my opinion. They care more about the business values, the reports, the dashboards that come out of it, essentially. Second part, especially as based on my experience, many companies do not want to invest into the fundamentals, including data architectures or data modeling concepts, etc. anymore. Yeah, so first of all, we don't actually see that at Scalefree. We have a lot of customers who come to us exactly because of these reasonings. They want to have these platforms. They want to have these, maybe I would say they don't want to overmodel, but they want to have a scalable solution essentially, right? Where they can attach more and more data over time while they're having a lot of requirements. I mean, what's a competition, right? Competition is set up a data lake and dump the data there and just query it. Full schema on read, fine. But still, they have the same requirements. What about GDPR? What about integration of data feeds, right? They still have these problems. So we keep talking about, to some extent, I mean, the customers, they want to have a data model. They want to have these features, essentially, again, from the capabilities of data vault, essentially, right? So integrating data, being able to delete personal data, and so on. So that's I would say is the impression that we have from the market, but we have also a very narrow view on data vault solutions as well, right? So people come in from our perspective, everybody's doing data vault, right? That's where it is. So that's one thing. But I see that trend as well in the industry to some extent, but that trend has been always there. There's always this desire for a silver bullet that's super easy to take and it solves all your problems, right? But that doesn't exist. So it's always the hype, the next hype essentially. Maybe an LLM can now solve all our problems. Just dump the data in there and let's see what comes out of it. Not going to solve it. Data will also not solve all your problems, right? All your issues. Data was only is good for a certain scenario. Integration of data, reporting solutions, and so on. There's a certain scenario where data vault is really good at, and that's where we're using it. And the same is true for other approaches. A data lake works in many cases, but it's good at certain aspects and might just not be good for everything, essentially. So there's this search for a silver bullet that's easy to take and is solving all our problems, but this silver bullet doesn't exist, right? And it goes back and forth. So the industry goes from one side of the solution space to the other side of the solution space, and realizes after a while this side doesn't work, so they go all the way back and forth all the time. And yeah, that's one thing. And the other thing is there's a trend to solve all these problems with technology. Just dump technology on the problem, and the next technology will solve it, right? Not going to work. So we're looking for concepts, we look for architectures, and I'm super relaxed. So even if there would be a trend, which we don't see at Scalefree, even if there would be a trend to have quicker solutions or less data architectures, less modeling, less governance, it will come back again. So because people realize it's not going to work. So yeah, that's my take on it. So I would be relaxed on this part here. And again, don't sell data vault, ways too complicated. Sell a house. That's the basic idea. And talk about the features. What do you get out of it? That's my take on it. Cool. All right. If you have a question like this, use this form here or the URL behind this. No, the form behind this URL here, sfr.ee/dbfriday. That's where you can essentially log into the form and then ask questions. You can also ask questions on YouTube, and we pick it up from there essentially.
Thank you for joining us today. Remember to subscribe to our channel and activate notifications. To build a scalable design and data platform, read a free Data Vault Handbook by scanning the QR code or following the link. Bye, guys.